American Pickers star Frank Fritz's real reason for leaving show and cause of feud with Mike Wolfe revealed. Hello everyone, welcome back to my another video. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Frank, 59, last appeared on American Pickers in 2020 and was officially let go from the series in 2021. Frank and his longtime co-star Mike Wolfe were on the outs after his firing, as they recently reconciled during a reunion in May. In an exclusive interview with the U.S. Sun, Frank's friend revealed what really caused his estrangement with the show and Mike, 59. The insider revealed, "I wouldn't say he was fired. He came home after a stint and said, 'I think I'm going to be done for a while.' I think he had burnout. His back surgery was major." Frank took time off in 2020 to recover from back surgery, leaving him with 185 stitches and 2 rods in his spine. Read more on Frank Fritz. The insider continued to claim of Frank's feud with Mike. Them not talking was mostly burnout too. They had arguments over stuff, disagreements as anybody does in business. It's all business. Frank knows what business is like. Whatever decision came down, it came down. It wasn't that big of a deal. Outside of business, their friendship is fine. They're fine. Their friendship is great today. They've known each other for 40 years. They're great friends. They're 2 professionals. The source previously insisted there is no bad blood between Frank, Mike, and his former co-workers today. Margot Robbie spotted in wedding dress on Wuthering Heights set. The insider said, "People on the show, the crew, Mike and Robbie, there is no bad blood. The crew comes to see him. They keep in touch. They come to see him when they're in town. They all get together. It's a good time. They're just buddies, and the conversation is what it always was. Those guys are crazy about picking and finding stuff, so that's the conversation." Mike and Frank reunited over Memorial Day weekend for the first time in years. The source claimed to the U.S. Sun, "Everything between them is fine. They've known each other for 40 years. They went to high school. They've done all this stuff together." The insider said Mike has visited Frank a handful of times since he suffered the stroke, as the 2 call and text today as well. Frank is even closer to Mike's brother Robbie, the source claimed, despite him replacing the fan favorite on the show. Frank's return. The U.S. Sun previously reported Frank is even in talks to return to the show 1 year after suffering a stroke in July 2022. A source close to Frank told the U.S. Sun, "I don't know why he wouldn't return to the show. He could go back to the show, maybe. He watches the new episodes. He'll laugh about it. Got to find something on there to razz them about. He'll tell them about it." Frank's firing. Frank revealed his feud with co-star Mike during the 2021 interview with the U.S. Sun. The fan favorite said, "I haven't talked to Mike in 2 years. He knew my back was messed up, but he didn't call me up and ask how I was doing. That's just how it is. The show is tilted towards him 1000%. I can't even bend that far down to show you how much. That's fine. It's like you've got Aerosmith, and there's Steven Tyler, and he's the frontman. I found my spot. I'm second, and he's number 1 on the show. That's no problem with me. Maybe he does have a problem." He also admitted, "I think Mike wants to get his brother Robbie in there to replace me. I don't know why he's behaving like that." Shortly after the interview announced Frank's firing over Instagram in July 2021. He captioned a photo of the friends. "I have known Frank for as long as I can remember. He's been like a brother to me. The journey that Frank, Donnie, and I started back in 2009, like all of life, has come with its highs and lows, blessings and challenges, but it has also been the most rewarding. The support that you all have given us has been a constant reminder of what the show's message has always been. Through these places, people, and things, we all have a common thread. We're here to not only take care of the past, but also each other." Mike concluded, "I will miss Frank, just like all of you, and I pray for the very best and all good things for him on the next part of his journey." Frank's NEE life. Frank suffered a stroke in July 2022 and was placed under conservatorship and guardianship the following month. Nowadays, Frank lives in his Iowa home and continues outpatient treatment. The pal told the U.S. Sun, Frank continues to improve daily. You're never 100% after a stroke, but he's fine. He's aware of what's going on. If you were sitting here right now, you could sit and talk to him. He's the same old Frank. The friend shared. He can walk, but he's always going to need the wheelchair because he can't walk long distances. Basically, you lose motion. He lost motion. A stroke can affect your left or your right side. It affects his right side. The insider said Frank continues to go to outpatient therapy weekly for a few hours. Frank is a private person and enjoys being totally out of the limelight. The source continued. He's had a stroke, but he's definitely not debilitated to the point where he can't do anything or do whatever he wants. He doesn't have any problems with that. It's just a change of lifestyle, and it slowed him down. He's the same old Frank. He has a good attitude and a great sense of humor. His mindset is positive. We crack jokes all the time. You gotta make the best of the situation, so he's come to terms with all of that. His mind is right. He's a happy guy and his sense of humor is there. The History Channel's American Pickers has been a staple of reality TV since its debut in 2010. The show, which follows antique hunters Mike Wolf and Frank Fritz as they travel the U.S. in search of valuable items from people's garages, barns, and homes, has become one of the network's most popular and enduring programs. But as the show entered its 21st season, fans were shocked to learn that Frank Fritz, one of the show's beloved co-stars, would no longer be part of the cast. His departure left viewers speculating about what had happened behind the scenes, with many wondering if a personal rift between Fritz and Wolf was to blame. In this deep dive, we explore the real reasons behind Frank Fritz's exit from American Pickers and the cause of his ongoing feud with Mike Wolf. Through interviews, statements from those close to the show, and a closer look at the dynamics of the relationship between the two stars, we unravel the complexities of what led to Frank Fritz's departure and the strain on his friendship with Mike Wolf. The origins of Frank Fritz and Mike Wolf's partnership. To understand the full extent of the fallout between Frank Fritz and Mike Wolf, it's important to go back to the beginning of their partnership. The two first met as young adults who shared a passion for collecting antiques and exploring forgotten treasures in people's homes. They bonded over their shared love for picking and developed a friendship built on mutual respect for each other's expertise. American Pickers began to take off. It was clear that their dynamic worked. Mike was the charismatic, smooth-talking collector, while Frank's gruff demeanor and encyclopedic knowledge of antiques made for a compelling on-screen contrast. Their chemistry was undeniable, and fans quickly embraced the duo as they traveled across the country, offering viewers a fascinating look into the world of treasure hunting. Frank Fritz, who had been working as a collector and antiques expert for years before American Pickers took off, enjoyed the role of the quirky, relatable underdog. He quickly became a fan favorite for his humor, vast knowledge, and down-to-earth personality. For many viewers, Frank was the heart of the show, offering a more grounded and often humorous counterbalance to Mike's larger-than-life persona. However, as the seasons progressed, subtle tensions began to surface. The behind-the-scenes dynamics between Fritz and Wolf were not always as friendly as they appeared on screen, and in time, these tensions would lead to a breaking point: Frank Fritz's departure from American Pickers. In March 2020, fans were stunned to learn that Frank Fritz would not be returning to American Pickers for the upcoming season. His absence was not addressed in detail by the producers, leaving fans to wonder what had happened. While it was officially stated that Fritz was taking a break from the show due to personal reasons, it wasn't long before whispers of a rift between him and Mike Wolf began to circulate. In the months following the announcement of his departure, Frank Fritz made a series of public statements that gave some insight into what had really been going on. In an interview with The Sun in July 2021, Fritz confirmed that his absence was not entirely voluntary and that he had not been asked to return to the show. He revealed that he had been sidelined from American Pickers after a period of tension with his co-star Mike Wolf. "I haven't been on the show for a while now, and I think I'd made it pretty clear that I'm not happy with the way things turned out," Fritz said in the interview. "There were a lot of things that went on behind the scenes that led to me not being on the show anymore. It wasn't just a break. I was kind of pushed out, to be honest." Fritz's comments sparked further speculation among fans, with many wondering about the nature of his fallout with Mike Wolf. To make matters more complicated, Fritz's absence from the show was accompanied by an increasing amount of media attention surrounding his feud with Wolf. This only fueled the fire of rumors, and fans began to wonder if the chemistry that had once made American Pickers so successful had soured beyond repair. The feud between Frank Fritz and Mike Wolf. While Frank Fritz was more open about the tensions between him and Mike Wolf, the latter remained largely silent on the subject for a long time. It wasn't until the release of a statement from Wolf in 2021 that the public got a glimpse of his side of the story. Wolf acknowledged that there had been some disagreements but insisted that they were just part of the natural ebb and flow of any long-term partnership. However, as more information trickled out, it became clear that the issues between Frank and Mike went deeper than just professional differences. According to various sources close to the show, the root of the conflict lay in both personal and professional frustrations. On the personal side, Frank Fritz's decision to step away from the limelight and focus on his personal life began to cause a strain in his relationship with Wolf. While Mike continued to embrace the spotlight and push the brand forward, Frank wanted to step back, feeling burned out by the relentless pace of filming and the pressures of being in the public eye. One of the most significant points of contention between the two was Frank's growing frustration with the direction of American Pickers. As the show evolved, Mike Wolf began to take on a more prominent role in terms of production, leading some insiders to suggest that Frank felt sidelined. It was reported that Fritz had voiced concerns about the show's increasing focus on drama and sensationalism, which he felt detracted from the authenticity of their early years. In a 2021 interview with The Sun, Frank also mentioned that his relationship with Mike had become strained over time. "Mike and I had a falling out, and it was really difficult," Fritz admitted. "We didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things, especially the direction the show was going in. It just wasn't fun anymore. And that's the truth of it." At the core of their fallout was what some sources described as a difference in values. Mike Wolf's ambition to expand American Pickers into a larger franchise clashed with Frank Fritz's desire to keep the show more intimate and true to its original concept. Frank reportedly became frustrated with the increasing focus on profitability, while Mike sought to elevate the show's status and appeal to a broader audience. The tension between their differing approaches to work led to a breakdown in communication and, ultimately, Frank's departure from the show. The health factor and personal struggles. Another element that contributed to Frank Fritz's decision to leave American Pickers was his health. In 2020, Fritz was diagnosed with a serious medical condition that required him to take a step back from filming. He had undergone back surgery, and his recovery was slow, leaving him unable to continue filming for the show. While Fritz's health issues were certainly a factor in his absence, they also highlighted a deeper personal struggle that may have played a role in the fallout between him and Mike. According to reports, the stress and physical toll of working on American Pickers had taken a significant toll on Frank's mental and emotional well-being. It's believed that his deteriorating health and the intense pressure of the show exacerbated the existing tensions between him and Wolf, leading Frank to feel even more isolated and disconnected from his co-star. In his interviews, Frank has been open about his struggles with depression and his need to prioritize his well-being over his career. "I had to take care of myself first," he explained. "I've been through a lot, and sometimes you just need to step back and think about what's important." The aftermath, moving on and future possibilities. In the wake of Frank Fritz's departure from American Pickers, Mike Wolf continued to lead the show with new co-hosts. Fans expressed their disappointment over Frank's absence, and many voiced their concern that the show had lost some of its magic without him. However, Wolf has continued to maintain that American Pickers must evolve, and he has expressed hope for future growth despite the shakeup. For Frank Fritz, life after American Pickers has involved focusing on his health and spending more time with family. He has made occasional appearances in the media, but his days of picking antiques on national TV seem to be behind him, for now. Despite the rift between them, both Frank and Mike have made public statements wishing each other well. In interviews, Mike has emphasized that he hopes Frank finds happiness and success in whatever he chooses to do next, even though their professional paths may have diverged. Frank, on the other hand, has expressed gratitude for the years spent on American Pickers, even if things ended on a difficult note. The end of an era, Frank Fritz's departure from American Pickers marks the end of an era for the show. His feud with Mike Wolfe, driven by a combination of professional differences, personal struggles, and health issues, has left fans wondering what could have been. While both Frank and Mike have moved on from their previous working relationship, the dynamic that made American Pickers so successful will always be remembered by fans who enjoyed watching the two stars hunt for treasures across the country. As Frank continues to focus on his health and personal life, it's uncertain whether he will ever return to television in the same capacity. For now, the show must go on without him, but the legacy of his time on American Pickers remains a vital part of the show's history. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, America Trends 24, and stay with us.